Welcome to Chads by Christ, the show about Catholic lads living Catholic lives. I'm Charlie.
I'm Deshaun.
Tesh, how are you? You have
I'm
time to
tired, man.
Yeah, mood.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but I'm good. Otherwise, how about you?
also tired. Less tired than you because you went to the gym.
Yeah, it was a very short workout, like half an hour maybe.
that's pretty long. That's pretty short, yeah. Most workouts are long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason we're tired is because we were at badminton and one of us decided that if we lose a point, we have to do exercises like do a push up or a burpee or run from the net to the net or like run around the court.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we play badminton.
We did it to do a lot of exercises.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Motivation to do better.
also just free exercise for me because I don't get enough of that. But yeah, that is us. Let me just pull up. I don't need to pull anything up. Today, we tired lads are going to try and discuss relationships. More specifically, the idea that relationships are give and take. Isn't that right, Dash?
That's it, yeah. Yeah, I guess we want to talk about how they're not always, like the workload, so to speak, isn't always split equally. Um, Depends on the context of the relationship, but yeah, I guess we want to talk about how to share that workload, I suppose. Well, not how
Yeah.
to, but I guess we can talk about maybe how we do it, like that kind of thing.
I mean, well,
It doesn't. It doesn't encompass like a relationship. I think like it
romantic.
should encompass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't need to encompass just romantic because every friendship is a relationship in essence.
Hmm. So I guess we'll start with this idea of 50-50, right? Where
hmm
did where did this come from? Like why 50-50 exactly?
Um, Equality. Like all these egalitarian, not egalitarian. Sorry, that's the wrong word. But like all these people
Eagles.
that like strive for equality. Like I feel like that's where it started. Like like this whole like male female thing. Like men should be the same as women, like be held on the same standard. And then I feel like it's sort of gone on from there. Do you get what I'm saying?
But in the context of romantic relationships, yeah, but what about just like other relationships?
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, okay. So that's in the context of romantic relationships, you're right. Yeah. So yeah, it was always, stated that men and women, well, not always stated, sorry, that in modern times this concept of equality has come up. In other relationships, it depends on the situation. Like I've always thought that I don't think relationships can always be 50-50, because sometimes one person in that relationship just might not be up to, putting in 50%. Like it depends on the context and everything. Like, they might be having a bad week, month, like they might need some support. Um, they might need a friend. So like that's where the other person would, kick in and maybe it'll become like 60-40, that kind of thing. Like you don't really need to put in fact, you don't really need to put a number on it. Like that's like if you look at it from the Catholic perspective, it should be 100% zero, and that should still be okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would probably would have said like on 100-100 actually. Only because
Um,
100-0 is like
as in
possibly
like
bad for you.
no, it is bad for you, but like that's you know like we're called to serve others even if they don't want to do the same back to us. Is what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say. It's
Yeah.
not great. Like ideally, yeah, 100-100 is the best case scenario, but I don't think that's realistic.
Yeah.
Because you can't expect everyone to go by that either.
No, you can't expect anyone to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Um But you said something about like not putting a number on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it worth keeping track of like how much you put in, or like how much someone else is putting in?
It really depends. Like, I don't think it's worth putting a number on it. Like, you did this for me, so I'll do this for you, sort of thing. Like, that's transactional, and that's probably a bad way to foster a good relationship with someone.
Mm.
Um, but if you're the only one putting in effort, then like for your mental health, like for your physical health, like if it's, a difficult thing that you're helping them out with, it might be worth reevaluating the relationship. It is my thinking. Like if you're
Yeah,
the only one trying to keep the relationship going, trying to keep, trying to like, put in effort, and it's impacting you like emotionally, mentally, physically, then it's probably worth reevaluating the relationship. Because you don't need to,
yeah,
you're not obligated to keep it going.
yeah, yeah. That's
It's
why
not.
I was like cautious about saying it should be 100 0, right? Because like that one
Well,
hundred 0 dynamic often. Well,
yeah, but like I
maybe
was
we
just
should
saying
define
that
what
because
0 is first.
I was just saying that because that's exactly what Jesus calls us to. That's pretty much Jesus in a person, right? 100 0.
True, this is
He
true.
gave 100%. Like, he doesn't need us, but he gives 100% to us.
Mm.
The expectation is that, I mean, there's no expectation. The ask is that we do obviously reciprocate where we can and, you know, contribute to that relationship, but God's not going to, I don't know what the word is, but like there's no expectation from him. It's a want and a desire from him, and it should be from us as well, considering the sacrifice that he made for us, the gifts he's granted us. But yeah, of course, not everyone's going to think that way either, and it's
Yeah,
the same with relationships.
yeah. But Dash, say I'm on like the side of like the 0 in the equation of like me and the Lord, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
If I'm not putting anything in this relationship,
Hmm.
does it not reach a point where it's not a relationship anymore? Like even though the Lord has given everything, there
Hmm.
isn't a relationship anymore. Or like there never was, so to speak.
I think
Like
it's
isn't that what
different in the
yeah.
case with God because God is always present. He's always there. Like you can't. I mean, I can't. You can't say you can't sever that relationship, but he's always ready to forgive and repair that relationship, even if there's been tension or you know if the relationship is broken. He's always ready to repair it.
Yeah, but forgiveness is something you have to ask for. So already we've ticked up to 1
Yeah,
just by that very fact of asking forgiveness.
like I don't think you can contrast a human relationship to a relationship with God because you can never really live up to that. Like the relationship with God, like you can never really live up to our obligation.
To God. Yeah.
Yeah, like we can try, but ultimately, like we're human. We can't really reach that point. Like we can't be a perfect human being. We can't. Like
Hmm.
obviously, Our Lady was, Jesus was divine, but yeah, like there have been perfect beings, but most of us cannot reach that point.
Okay. Bear with me a sec. I just want to take a note for another episode idea because that's a tangent for another time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you say that we can never achieve perfection.
Mm-hmm.
What is the point of trying then?
Well, we have to try. We're called to try. Like we are obligated to try, and that's the same with any relationship as well. Like there is an obligation to try. Um, it depends how far you want to take that. Like if you fail, it's up to you whether you get back on the horse and you try again, um, or you let the relationship go. And there have been instances where people have let that relationship with God go, and obviously with people.
Mm.
So the key is, yeah, to keep, if it's something that you believe in and that you really want to foster, then you need to put in the work for it.
Okay. Anyway, we'll discuss that properly like another episode. Because that is a topic for another episode. Back on this episode's topic.
Mhm.
Um, 50, 50, 40, 60 relationships. Let's bring it back to like relationships with people then, if we can't really use our Lord as an analog.
Alright. Yep, you gone.
uh, um, hope that gets picked up in the recording.
Relationships with people.
Relationships with people. But yeah, like okay, with the relationship with a person, right? Like let's say I'm putting this that let's say like this isn't me. Like let's say I'm putting a lot of effort into a relationship and the person isn't really even being receptive to it. Um what do?
There's only
Like I'm
so
actively
much.
exhausting myself here. Like what do I do? Is it virtuous and noble for me to just keep burning out for this?
I would say no, because you can't serve other people. First of all, like you can't serve yourself. First of all, if you're burning yourself out in this one relationship, and yeah, following on from that, if you're burning yourself out, you can't serve other people if you're focusing too much on this one relationship and burning yourself out. So you're basically doing everyone else, including yourself, a disservice if you're burning yourself out with this one relationship.
Mhm.
So to answer your question, I think it's okay to reevaluate and you know if you get to the point where you need to, I think it's okay to cut off that relationship if you're it's not being reciprocated and it's impacting you negatively.
Mm. I feel like we've done an episode on a similar-ish topic before.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
yeah, it was like when should you stop a friendship or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Can't remember what it was titled. Because I want to get a really
Yeah.
silly title. Ah, maybe it was Friendship is Tragic. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I think we're getting sidetracked.
Yeah, it's
Um
hard to focus right now. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, that's fine. But yeah, I think like what are your thoughts or what do you think about this 50-50 concept? That's what we wanted to talk about. Like do you think, do you think in some cases it's valid? Um like have you I don't know, had instances where you've tried to maintain this 50-50 and has it gone well? Has it gone badly?
Um. Uh. Bear with me because this will sound like a bit of a waffly tangent,
Mhm. Mhm.
but just as an example, like I'm never really one to initiate plans.
Mhm.
Like I'm always down to hang, and if someone like offers an invite, like I'm always happy to accept the invite where I can.
Mhm.
But it's rare for me to put like an invite out and invite people to things. Um, so like with that in mind, I guess plainly and simply, like I wouldn't say I even live 50-50 in relationships, you know?
Okay.
Because it's like, if I invited you out, now you got to invite me out. It's like, well,
Right, right.
somehow I've managed to get away with not doing that.
Okay.
Um,
Is that good
that
or
could
bad?
be. Was that?
Is it good or bad? Like, has it worked for you?
I kinda like
Okay.
yeah. I wouldn't say anyone hates me.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that either.
Yeah, like I certainly hope no one like resents me for not like inviting people places. Like I don't.
I mean, I don't really tend to do that either. Maybe every once in a blue moon.
Yeah. All that to like get to my actual point, which is like one of the problems with 50-50 thinking is that we think that like the two fifties are the same 50, if that makes sense.
Right.
But like,
Okay. Wait, I lost
hello?
you. I said I understood, but no, elaborate.
But no, you like dropped out a bit there. What did? Oh, no.
Oh, I said elaborate. Like I
Ah, okay.
asked you to elaborate. Like, what does it mean? Like different 50s?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like flowing on from like the invite example, right? Like you'd think like a common way to think about 50-50 is like, ah, okay, tit for tat, right? You person A sends out the invite, that means person B has to do it next time.
Right.
But like people are different and people
Hmm.
operate differently.
Right.
And so it intuitively to me feels a bit unreasonable to like demand people operate in ways that they normally don't. This is weird territory. But like if I look at it in like a marriage, right?
Hmm.
Like usually like the mum and the dad, or like the husband and the wife, they don't like alternate the chores.
Hmm.
Maybe some do, but like I feel like generally speaking, like husband and wife have like their defined role, and it's not
Right.
like a gender roles thing. It's like ah, I do the vacuuming, I do the dishes, I do this,
Uh-huh.
she does that. Um, it's like different contributions. Yet,
Hmm.
um, it's sort of like the what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. But like the cliche of like the man goes out and works, and the woman stays back at home and maintains the home. It's
Hmm.
like, can you quantify those two to be like an equal 50-50? I don't know.
Right.
Maybe, maybe not. Is that all? Does that make sense?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh wait, no. I have a better way. I have a better way to describe. But it's in the territory of romance again. But are
Mhm.
you familiar with the five love languages, Desh?
Not. But, I know a few. I don't think I know them all.
Okay, I think I know them off the top of my head. There's physical touch, like
Yep.
hugs and so on.
Yep.
Quality time,
Yep.
words of affirmation,
Yep.
acts of
Gift giving.
service, and gift giving. Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
yep. And so like the whole idea of like the love languages is like people give and receive love differently.
Hmm.
And so if you want to have like a 50-50 relationship, you actually have to do it in a particular way so that the person is able to receive it, right? Like in the language that they're fluent in. So a person who has like gift giving as their primary love language won't receive as much if you just give them words of affirmation, for example. Um, but then it's like, gift giving and words of affirmation, like gift giving has a tangible monetary value,
Hmm.
whereas like a nice word doesn't.
Right.
So like that's sort of what I'm getting at with like the 50-50 are different 50s.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. What was the original question?
Um, has it worked for you? Have you been in a situation where you've tried to maintain 50-50?
mm,
You can say no.
if I'm trying to, I think like the situations where I felt like I've had to, I've like hated. I've grown to resent the relationship. I've grown to hate that dynamic
Right.
because it becomes about keeping score. So like, yeah, I have, but it was not like good.
Right.
Or like, yeah, I've tried to, but it wasn't good.
Fair enough.
Like, there is almost like an effortlessness to good
Yeah.
relationships, isn't there?
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. I would agree with that.
Here's a question for you, Dash.
Hmm.
What if you're like sick? I mean, yeah, you kind of mentioned that, but like, yeah, what if you're sick?
Yeah.
Do you still have to put in the 50?
Yeah. Like I think I mentioned like something similar at the start. Like I think that's where it comes down to, where you need support, like during those times. So maybe during, when you're sick, when you're down, when you're sad. and you're not able to perform at your best or do your best, that's where, people that you're having a relationship with can pitch in and give you that support, um, or whatever you need to, get past that point, I guess. So I would say no, you don't necessarily need to put in the whole 50, so to speak, when you are, sick or otherwise incapacitated.
Okay. Follow-up question. You mentioned like getting past it.
Mhm.
But what if you have like a chronic condition, say? Like what if there is no getting past it? You still have to put in 50?
I would say you put in what you can at that point because you can't, like, if it's a chronic condition, if it's severely impacting your health, your mental health, things like that, then yeah, it's probably going to be a detriment to you to be overworking yourself or, whatever, like putting in too much. And you're not doing anyone any favors there. So, no, I would say if it's like a chronic thing, then you do what you can.
Hmm.
And hopefully you're in relationships with people that are, that want to see the best in you and are okay with that.
Hmm.
Yes.
No, well, good. Well said. I'm just zooted. I'm sorry.
No,
Zooted's
that's
not. What's
fine.
the word?
All of the above.
Yeah. Sleepy boy. Um, we're at 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Um, so we've talked about when it's okay to cut a relationship off when you're, putting in the effort, but it's not being reciprocated. What about the other way around? Like, is it possible for us to know when we're not pulling our weight in a relationship and we're not holding up our end of the, deal, bargain? You know
Mm,
what I mean?
yeah.
Because, like, again, we're not perfect. There's definitely going to be instances where we are in the wrong. So, like,
Mhm.
how do we work that out?
Uh, we can't read minds.
Mm-hmm.
So the big and clear and obvious way we'll find out is if the relationship dies. And it's
Mm.
like, well, and even then, like maybe we won't. Maybe I'll be too dense to like put two and two together and be like, oh, why doesn't Jefferson want to talk to me no more? So,
Right.
yeah. But like, yeah, we can't like. I think you and I are of the opposite temperament where we'll like overthink it,
Mm.
like try to guess at how the relationship's going.
Oh, yeah.
Um, the
Yeah,
the
definitely.
sucky part is like it really is up to the other person to express and communicate um, their needs and their desires.
Yes. I was going to say, yeah, before we wrap up, we need to talk about communication because that is extremely important.
Yes. If there's
But
anything you
yeah,
have to put in a relationship, it's communication.
yeah, that's true. Whether it's going good or bad, communication is pretty much key.
Um, like yeah, it's really the only way we'll know. It's like if the other person like tells us,
Yeah,
and only then is the ball. Well, not
yeah,
only then, but like then the ball is like firmly in our court, and then we can like
yeah.
action it.
If it's something a bit more like obscure than like something that's like, if it's something that's like standing out to your moral compass or your conscience, that's different.
Mm,
But like if it isn't, like if you genuinely feel like, you're a bit confused, then yeah, you need the person to communicate that to you.
yep. And that's not easy, Like say you're like feeling kind of jibbed that like you guys that you don't hang out with your friend anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Um, communication does not mean you like storm up to him and be like, "We don't hang out anymore. We never hang out. You never ask me to go to the arcade or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
Like there's ways to do it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
not to say that like such an approach isn't understandable and valid, but like it's not gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
Where am I going with this? Communication at its core is an invitation. Like that's really
Mm-hmm.
all you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because any other way, and it's like easy to misread the message, misinterpret the
Mhm.
message.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah. Well said. I think we're about at time. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up? I guess.
Not particularly, no. I'm very much like no thoughts, head empty right now.
Moved. All right. Well, we don't need to press it. Like we can call it there. I think. I think we've covered a lot of what's important.
Yeah. Good podcast. Hopefully.
Yes.
But
Pure
yeah.
intentions.
Yes, pure intentions. Who
All right.
started us off last time? I forget.
I think it was me.
Okay, I guess I'll do it then. And I'll take the bog standard. So
Mm-hmm.
pray for an end to all the conflicts throughout the world,
Mm-hmm.
particularly Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Palestine, uh, all the other ones: Syria, Sudan, Somali, Myanmar.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, our own relationships. A lot of conflict in there.
Mm-hmm.
And those. That's the wrong word. Yeah. Pray for peace. Pray for reconciliation. Pray for harmony. I'm running out of words. Moving on. Topic wise, I pray for relationships that aren't defined by scorekeeping. Because yeah, like I know like both sides have to put in, but the moment it becomes like you have to tally up whether you made your 50 or not, like
Yeah.
it starts being like self-centered on both parties' parts. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, pray for that. I pray that I don't think like that because I probably
Yeah.
do.
Mm.
But yeah, that's me.
Okay. And from me, I guess I pray that we're all able to put in the best that we can into every relationship. And first and foremost, that includes our relationship with God. Because if that relationship isn't being at least attempted to be reciprocated, then it's going to be pretty tough to maintain the other ones. Because that's the one where the fuel comes from, I think. Yeah, so I guess I pray that we're all able to foster that main important relationship, and you know all the other ones are really side quests. In all honesty, they're not to say that they're not important, but like at the end of the day, it's true. Like those are secondary to that primary relationship. So yeah, basically to every relationship we pray that we are able to give our best, and I think that's all anyone can really ask for.
Yeah, well said. And on that note, we'll call it here. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks so much for listening. If you did enjoy that, then like, comment, subscribe, press the buttons, do the things. If you didn't, leave us a comment. Feedback's always helpful. You can email us at chadsbychrist@gmail.com. We have a Discord. Link is in the description. Either way, please pray for us, and we'll be praying for you. Thanks again, guys. God bless.
Thanks, guys. God bless. Bye.
Bye.